All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the meeting of the Carver Select Board for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. This meeting is broadcast live on Area 58, Community Access Media Channel 9, and will be posted by Area 58 on YouTube as soon as possible. There are openings on several committees. Please refer to the front page on our website for a listing and application. If we could all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Ryan, if you could read our community prayer.
Almighty God, humbly we pray your blessing as we concern our lives with the opportunity to serve our community. Enhance us with your spirit of dignity and selflessness. May we become instruments of support and understanding as we seek to bring an environment of trust and purpose among all those who provide the many services that make us all that we can become. Help us achieve the goals of our commitment in this office that is now our responsibility, and especially we lift up prayers for all the citizens of our community that we've been allowed to serve, that they may discover the fullness and joy of life that we all seek. And keep those serving in our armed forces and our first responders in our hearts and thoughts. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. All right, the first item on our agenda this evening, as always, is citizens' participation. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board this evening? Seeing none. We will move on to our next agenda item, which is the acceptance of a donation from the Utley family to the Veterans Gift Account. And we have Jordan Utley here with us this evening. Jordan, welcome. Thank you for coming. Would you and your parents like to come up to the microphone and tell us briefly about what you did to raise this money for veterans?
I did eliminate.
Well, let's bring a couple of extra seats up. We also have our veterans agent with us here this evening. Jordan, you definitely deserve a seat.
Right in front of that one.
Thanks, Mr. Cannon.
I chose a lemonade stand for homeless veterans because I think they deserve more. They fought for our country.
We have veterans in our family.
And we have veterans in our family.
It was a good way to honor them.
And it was a good way to honor them.
Well, I think it is a great way, too.
And we hope to do more.
And I hope to do more.
Well, thank you. Do either one of your parents have anything they'd like to add?
I think we're just pretty darn proud of her, that's all. And we had nothing to do with it. I told her I'd take her to Waterways that day.
Did you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say that when I got the call from Mrs. Utterly, that I was very amazed that a 12-year-old Jordan, nine-year-old, wanted to, had a lemonade stand and really raised the money all summer long, right? So I thought that was such a generous effort that I immediately went upstairs to, Town Administrator Glenn Cannon and Assistant Town Administrator Lane West and said, we have to do something because this is like so generous. And come to find out, you're going to have a big surprise after this.
We actually drove by, thank you. We actually drove by a homeless person on the side of the road holding up a veteran sign. And that's when she asked how come that veteran doesn't have a home. So she said she was going to do everything in her power to maybe help that cause. So that's where it came from.
Well, this is really just a great occasion for us, and Jordan, I think this is one of the things that makes the town of Carver so special, is that we have people that are going above and beyond to do this kind of thing without being asked, just doing it out of their own ideas. So thank you so much for what you've done. I want to open it up to the rest of the board and
Say thank you, Jordan. You're a special person for doing this.
I'd just like to say thanks
Mr.
for your
Carver.
service in getting this done and raising funds for the veterans.
Miss Jordan Utley, you are amazing. That's a big deal for somebody to do. I don't think I could raise $300 from anything. So congratulations.
We're so proud of you. I think we also have our state senator, Kelly Dooner, and our representative, John Gasky. We're pretty busy at the table. Maybe you folks could come up to the side here, and I think you have something you might want to say as well.
I also want to thank Jordan. Very good job, and also great job talking in front of all these people. I'm sure that was the toughest part. Raising the $300 was easy, right? Great job. Keep up the good work.
I also didn't tell her hence the soccer uniform. We just picked her up from practice. We didn't know.
So she's representing Carver.
Surprise.
Folks?
Well, first off, Jordan, you are amazing. And you should honestly be so proud of yourself. One of the things that I personally have been fighting for over the last year is prioritizing our veterans, especially when it comes to homelessness, and making sure that they always have a place that can put a roof over their head and provide for them. My father was a veteran. He actually joined the Air Force at age 15, because back when he joined, they didn't check for identification like they do now. But it's honestly, it's truly amazing. As you clearly already know, veterans are the reasons we have the freedoms that we have today, and they continue to be the reason we have the freedoms that we have. And to your parents, you guys should be so proud to have raised somebody who I honestly think is going to change the world one day. If at this age you are already this motivated, I can't wait to see what you do as you get older. So I do have a citation for you from the Senate that I'll quickly read. Commonwealth of Massachusetts State Senate official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Jordan Utley in recognition of your fundraiser for veterans in the town of Carver. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, and that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and an attested copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate and myself. So on behalf of myself and the entire Massachusetts State Senate, we thank you and congratulations for all your hard work.
Representative?
Jordan, on behalf of all of Carver's veterans, I'm a veteran myself, come from a long line of veterans. I appreciate everything that you did for us. And like Senator Dooner, I can't wait to see what you do next. And with that, I also have a certificate, and I'll read that out for you. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all, the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Jordan Utley in recognition of her generosity and community spirit in raising $300 through a lemonade stand to support the veterans in Carver. Your kindness and initiative are commendable and serve as an inspiration to others. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Signed by Speaker of the House, Ronald Mariano, and myself on behalf of the House of Representatives, State of Massachusetts. Thank you.
Well, if you guys just hold on for one second. Jordan, I hope you have a lot of space on your wall, okay? Because we also have a certificate for you. In the interest of brevity, I'm not going to read it, but I hope you have a lot of space on your wall, because you're gonna need it, okay? Maybe we could all come up and take a photo and present these at the same time.
Dad, you want me to be in it? Yeah. Yeah, come on.
All right. What a nice way to start a meeting. I think we need to do that more often. Next, we have a bittersweet occasion. We recognizing the retirement of our Deputy Chief of Police, Sherry Sarmento. The Carver Police Department has truly developed into a tremendous asset in this community, and our Deputy Chief is a big part of that. And we are happy that you're going to be retiring, but we are very sorry to be losing you. And Ms. Chief, I think you might have a couple of things you want to add.
Thank you. First, thank you, everybody. Select Board, Senator Duna, Rep. Gasky, all our members of our department, friends and family are here today to honor our Deputy Chief and celebrate her accomplishments. I've done this a few times. It's probably going to be one of my difficult ones. Again, good evening and thank you very much for taking time tonight to recognize and appreciate the years of dedicated service that Deputy Chief Sarmento has provided to the residents of Carver and the members of our public safety team. Deputy Chief Sarmento began her career in law enforcement over 30 years ago as a police cadet in New Bedford. Once she was hired as a police officer, she worked as a patrol officer and a detective there. And then in December of 2002, she came over to the Carver Police Department, which was an excellent move, I believe. In Carver, she climbed the ranks, worked for patrol officer. She was a provisional sergeant, a patrol sergeant, and then the administrative sergeant. She was at the time the second in command of the department. When we created the new deputy chief position, which is the true second in command department, she became our first deputy chief. And during that time, she was actually even one of the only sexual assault investigators we had, so she's done a lot of hard work in the department. As our second in command for the past 12 years, she's been an integral part of moving the department forward and improving the service we provide to our citizens. Throughout her career, she has proven repeatedly that she is a tenacious investigator, a positive role model, and a top-notch police officer. In her current role, she's assisted in the day-to-day running of the police department, was responsible for conducting our hiring process, coordinated all of our annual in-service training, completed the scheduling for all the officers on all the shifts, conducted our internal affairs investigations, guided the operations of our detective unit, and helped to bring my vision for the department to fruition. There are so many things I could talk about that she's accomplished. I'll just name a few. She was responsible for creating our first Citizens Police Academy, which brought our citizens and our officers together to learn a little bit more about what we do on a daily basis. She spent a great deal of time and effort putting together a state grant to get us a mental health clinician to assist our officers out on the road with mental health calls through no fault of her own and some funding issues that hasn't completely worked out as well, but she put a lot of time and effort into that and saw that it was very important. Most importantly, she's put up with me. It's helped me do my job. She's listened to my ideas. She's listened to my venting. She's kept me focused. She's kept me from quitting several times. And she's been there as a support to me and to keep me on the path that I need to be on. And I know we would not be where we are today without her help. We're very, very fortunate that she came to this department and very fortunate that she accepted the role to be the second in command. After a career well spent with many ups and downs, Deputy Chief Sarmento has certainly earned and deserves a happy retirement, and I know we all wish her well. For my part, I will be forever grateful for all the help, and will miss working alongside her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. And you said it very well. We are certainly very fortunate to have the Deputy Chief here, and we're sorry to be losing you. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I would just like to thank the Select Board, all the previous Select Boards, the current Town Administrator, the Assistant Town Administrator, Shelby, all the officers and everybody. This is a great town. I thought you was going to be the one to cry.
He just might.
I used to drive through Carver on the way to the academy, and I always thought it was a pretty town, and never in a million years did I think I would get the opportunity to work here. And it's been great. I couldn't have I couldn't be more lucky.
We're the lucky ones.
Now I am.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
citizens are absolutely phenomenal. Even like just the little things that people have done or said, they mean a lot, and it's been wonderful. And I just can't say enough good things about the town, and about the people I work with, and about the chief. I really appreciated his leadership, his friendship, and everything he's done. He's probably the best person I know. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I've kept him from quitting more than a couple of times. I stopped counting after 5.
All right, well, we started this side last time. Why don't we go around the board?
Thank you. So, Deputy Chief Sarmento, Sherry, you've been through a lot. We've been doing things a lot of years here since you've been here. We've all been through a lot together, up and down.
Definitely.
And I just want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you.
You're a very good person. We'll miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also want to thank you, like Sarah said, you've seen all the goods and the bads in the last few years you've been here, but we all appreciate that and wish you great retirement, health, and on your next adventure.
Thank you.
Right, and yeah, Carver was very fortunate to have you all these years. Thank you very much for all your service, and we wish you the best in your retirement.
Thank you very much.
It's certainly going to be a big hole to fill, and I'd also like to thank you for everything you've done for the town, and you deserve a retirement that you can go out and enjoy, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right. And once again, we have our legislative delegation here. Turn the microphone over to you folks.
Thank you very much. Deputy Chief, my first interaction with you was trying to get my LTC, and you handled that whole process with grace and professionalism that really made me feel good about especially where I am. And I appreciate that, and I know that you mean a lot to the community, and you will be sorely missed. Hopefully you won't be too far away from us, and hopefully that Chief will find somebody to keep him from quitting for a little bit longer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First off, thank you, Sherry, for your years of service, and just a special thank you for showing up and continuing to lead. I know the chief has talked so highly of you, even during a time where being a police officer wasn't the most popular thing, or could be difficult at times, but choosing to come to work every day and being proud to come to work every day. So thank you for that as a citizen. I greatly appreciate it. And we also have a citation for you that I will quickly read. State Senate official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Deputy Chief Sherry Sarmento in recognition of your years of service to the community and your distinguished career with the Carver Police Department. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, and that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and an attested copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate and myself. So on behalf of the entire Massachusetts State Senate, just thank you for your service. We're forever grateful to have people like you serving in law enforcement.
Thank you.
And just again, you've done a wonderful job, and you're truly, truly going to be missed. So,
Thank you.
So thank you. And again, you're going to need a few extra hands for all these citations that we're about to give you.
Oh, I spaced, I completely spaced on the citation. But.
I will add, though, her retirement doesn't take place till like November, so she'll be in tomorrow.
Well, maybe not.
All right. All right, moving right along. The next item on our agenda this evening is a discussion and possible vote on Carver's next police chief. Obviously, we've had multiple interviews, one-on-one interviews, and a public interview that was held in this room. And I think at this point, we are ready to move on and have a discussion and take a vote. I thought perhaps the easiest way to do this, we have 3 candidates, and let me just say that I think all our candidates, I think the board would agree, were all excellent candidates, and we would be fortunate to have any of them as our next chief of police, but we can only have one. So I think the easiest way to do this might just be to go around the room, each one of us identify our number 1 candidate. We may find that we're all on the same page. We may find that we're on 3 different pages, in which case we'll have a discussion and hopefully make a decision. And just so everyone's clear, if you felt that for some reason you weren't comfortable with any of these candidates and you wanted to go outside, this would be the time to say that. Okay, everyone okay with that? Okay, I'll start off, and I don't think we need a lot of dialogue here. We just need to identify our choices and see where we're at. So, through all my interviews, it was a very difficult choice, but I identified Sergeant Rayner as my first choice, and that's where I'm at. Why don't we, Ms. Hewins, why don't we start from your end of the table and go
Sure.
around?
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say that all of the candidates are excellent choices. They're all excellent people as well. And they're all knowledgeable, that's very clear. And they're all really caring. That also came through the interviews. But in my opinion, one stands out for his respect for our community and for his fellow officers. I just think it was above and beyond, and my choice is also Matt Rayner.
Mr. Hoffman?
Like everyone else, all 3 candidates, first I want to thank them all for stepping forward. It's a big step.
Oh, yeah.
We know that. It's plus having an interview with us, an individual and in public, that's all, very difficult. It's also, I think it's a credit to Chief Dufely and Deputy Chief Sarmento that we have 3 great candidates inside, because I know there was discussion about going outside, and I know for most of the people I've talked to, we don't have to go outside. We have 3 great candidates here, so I just want to say that before I agree with Mark and Sarah that my first choice is Matt Rayner as well.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ryan?
I want to reiterate, too, we're very fortunate in Carver to have 3 very competent, very good candidates for police chief. And, through all the interviews, I want to comment that each person is very dedicated to the town in their current role, and they're probably, part of the reason why we have such a great department. But also my first choice is Sergeant Matthew Rayner.
Mr. Carter?
Just to reiterate, we've got 3 great candidates. I appreciated the one-on-ones that I did with each of them. Thank you for your time on that. It gave me a good background as to your experience and skill set. I did rely pretty heavily on the police chief assessment report because I know nothing about policing. Weighing the experience and the history and his resumes, I think I would concur with the rest of the select board that Matthew Rayner would be the first choice.
All right. Well, that made things pretty easy. I guess with that being the case, we're all five of us are on the same page. Is there a motion to offer the next police chief position to Matthew Rayner and enter into salary negotiations?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. And again, thank you to all three applicants for stepping forward. We're very lucky.
Just briefly, I really haven't prepared anything. Just find this out. I just like to say thank you for the board. This is very humbling, and I look forward to leading this department and learning from Chief Dufilly in his last 6 months. I get a lot of learning to do, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to working with Sergeant Kelly, Sergeant Burial, and all the sergeants and the members of the department. We have a great department, and it really is humbling to be selected to be the next leader. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with everybody and working with the board. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sergeant Kelly, Sergeant Berrio, do either one of you have anything you'd like to say to the board? Or?
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. It was a great process. I think it was fair, and Matt would be a great chief. I fully support him, and we'll work well together.
Thank you for stepping
Thank you.
forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How's everyone doing?
Okay.
I'm glad this process is over. No, Matt, honestly, he's a great guy. He deserves a position. I think that our whole department will take lead after him, and I think it's a great choice. Thank you guys for, and I love talking with everyone. It was great to get to know everybody.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for stepping forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along. The next item on our agenda this evening is the Emergency Medical Services request to increase fees effective September 1st, 2025. Chief Ryan, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me follow all of that. I gave you guys some handouts just to kind of limit how much I have to talk, just to kind of review. Every couple of years, we reassess the ambulance billing rates from this EMS department to see where we stand within the state and within the county. And it normally is around every 2 years that we find that rates around us have increased, and it's time for us to look at increasing our rates as well. We compare ourselves to other departments, but we are actually the only department that is 100% self-funded through our ambulance billing revenue. So it's imperative that we stay ahead of or stay at least in the average of the areas around us. We've had an increase in call volume, which has helped bring in more money. But also with the increase in call volume also comes an increased cost. So it kind of balances out that way. So in a letter I gave you, just kind of explains the whole situation, why we're looking to increase our rates. Our biggest issue is that our Medicaid and Medicare rates are unable to be raised. They're contracted to the federal government and the state, so their rates are set and we can't negotiate with those. So when we increase our rates, those rates are put onto private health insurance. Private health insurance then reimburses us for those rates, which helps with the difference. 82% of our transports are either social health care, whether it be Medicare, a division of Medicare, or Mass Health, and Medicaid, WellPoint, BMC Health Net, all those are what are considered social health care. So we can't bill for anything more. They have their set reimbursement rates. So by increasing these rates, we put a little bit more on the private insurance companies, but we do also work with cost reporting with both Medicare and Medicaid showing that their reimbursement rates are very far behind where ambulance rates need to be. It's not just our town, it's not just our state, it's across the board for Medicare, and Medicaid it is interstate. That is, it's an issue we are still working on. In it, I included in the back of it are 3 different packets. They're all 3 different docket bills right now that are in front of the State House and State Senate. They're all about surprise ambulance billing because ambulance billing is not covered underneath the Surprise Bill Act that was passed in the federal government a couple years ago because we are not technically a private sector or for-profit entity. We are a municipal entity in ambulance services because rates vary. I mean, as we're talking right now, we're increasing our billing rates. Our billing rates versus a private ambulance service are lower. Private ambulance sometimes charges more. There's so many different ambulance rates out there, it's hard to persuade whether or not there should be balanced billing on that. So EMS ambulance billing can be balanced billed, and unfortunately for some patients, it's a surprise bill to get when their private insurance company does not cover most of it. There was actually a Channel 5 article over a year ago about this, about how certain health insurances will only pay a certain amount because they deem us as out of network. Well, there's not one municipal ambulance service in the state of Massachusetts that's in network. Due to state procurement regulations and everything else, we can't contract with these companies. So those 3 bills are ones that I shared with you, hopefully that you can share with anybody else you know to, again, discuss with. I, luckily enough, was able to catch Senator Duna while she was here and remind her that I'm willing to come talk in front of the Senate about these because these bills will make it so that private insurance companies have to pay the municipal rate. And that way it doesn't get pushed on to the patient. And that would benefit every resident in the state of Massachusetts while also increasing the ability to collect funds into municipal government. So especially for ours, where our money goes directly back into operating the ambulance fund, but even other towns who use this money to offset capital purchases or whatever town uses that money for. But the rates we're looking to increase to this year, the average, if you look at the Carver, Mass rate comparison for Plymouth County, the average rate, that's what we're looking to bring it up to. Not necessarily identically, so I took some pennies off because I'm a fan of round numbers. So, but it will be up to, but not above that, what's there. So we bring us up to the average of what Plymouth County is currently seeing as ambulance billing rates for all the municipal departments.
All right. Well, Chief, first of all, thanks for coming in this night, and I think you'd be congratulated. I know how hard you work to keep these rates down, but unfortunately, raising them is unavoidable sometimes.
Sure.
That being said, are there questions from the board?
When's the last time we raised the rates?
2 years ago, 2024.
So you said, okay.
2023, I'm sorry, 2023 for FY 24, sorry.
Okay.
It would have been 2 years ago, August 2023.
And historically, we've always had the issue that potentially patients are paying a portion of the ambulance service.
Yeah, I think the last time we spoke, I think I mislabeled things, but there are times, yeah, when we bill private insurance companies, some of them pay in full. I call the bigger commercial companies, your Harvard Pilgrim, your Blue Cross Blue Shields, they tend to pay the whole bill unless the patient has not met their deductible, and then they'll push the deductible onto the patient. It's other companies like Tufts, United Healthcare, I can brand off like 7 of them, that will pay us $800 on a $3,000 bill saying that it's out of network. And they push it on. The good news is our billing company works very well with the patients. So when they call me, I say call our billing company. They'll work with you, with your insurance company to try to get this bill paid. And they do a lot of great work. Our billing company works very well with trying to get the insurance companies to pay as much as that bill is humanly possible. And then they can set up payment plans with the patient so they don't have to pay the bill out of pocket immediately.
So, Mr. Chair, so you're asking us to do something that will help prevent the patients that you serve from having to foot a lot of that bill? Is that essentially?
Well, that's what those 3 bills right now, that the 2 in the state Senate and the 1 in the state House, those ones, if those get passed, they were presented a couple years ago, and then got absorbed into what happens, it goes into committee, gets absorbed into like 25 other bills, and then dissipates. These 3 bills I feel really strongly need to be pushed through, and I think every resident in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that has insurance and ever takes an ambulance ride would benefit greatly from this, and then their own communities financially would benefit greatly from these 3 bills passing. So-
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the increase in fees?
Do we need to do it individually, the 6 increases, or can you just do it as a whole?
I think we can do the one increase, can't we?
The one bundle? All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the proposed increases across the 6 categories that include the base rate, non-emergency base rate, ALS non-emergency, ALS 1 emergency base, ALS 2 emergency base, and mileage. So proposal 2.
Second.
Okay, and that was effective September 1st, correct?
Yes, effective September 1st.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous.
Great. Thank you very
Chief.
much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
All right. Next this evening is a discussion and possible vote on the update to the King Richard's Fair traffic plan. Chief Dufely? Yeah, we also have representatives of Fair here, if you'd like to join us as well. Welcome back. And congratulations, I heard the first weekend of the fair went well.
Well, the weather definitely cooperated, so
did.
I'm very excited.
Certainly did. All right, Chief, I'll turn this over to you.
Certainly. Tonight, we're here to talk about the approval of alternate parking sites for the fair, something that I think that we definitely are going to need to do to make this all work. We did have a good weekend. I think I'll let the AMA and the fair people speak about that. The weather was nice. Saturday and Sunday were just like we always have them, and Monday was a little busier. The good part about that is we got some good data and good information on what the parking lot holds and what it doesn't, and working together, myself, the fire chief, people from the fair worked together to make it work. It was a little tight in the parking lot, but we got it done. We've established some numbers of what we can park for cars, and we intend to have a meeting at the end of the week before next Saturday about improvements we can make in that lot itself on how we can be a little more efficient and maintain what we need to for public safety. So I think we're all on the right page. I think we mentioned when we started all this that we would be making tweaks along the way to make it work. And I guess I'm happy to say that the first weekend we made some and it worked. It was, it was busier than I think we all anticipated, but that's a good thing for the business. And I think that moving forward with the approval of the alternate lots that the fair has secured, we can help them to grow and keep people off the streets and into the fair where they need to be.
Chief, can I ask you before we move on, were there any major issues with the parking we've already approved last weekend?
Well, no major issues. I think we identified that we don't have as many spaces as we originally thought, but we're working through that and adjusting as we need to. As I said, if we're going to meet at the end of the week, we've got some good pictures of the cars in the parking lot from overhead, and we're going to use that to tweak the parking lot a little bit and make sure that we're using it as efficiently as we can and making sure it still provides the public safety needs we need to get fire engines and ambulances in if needed.
Okay, as far as public safety lanes and that type of thing, that no problems there, they worked fine?
So we were a little tight this weekend because we had to squeeze some cars in. So there was some stuff that we're discussing with the fair about we don't want to have happen again, and they're open to that discussion. Okay. But we had to make that happen this weekend because we didn't have the alternate lots. So that's, again, another reason to have this vote today and get us that ability to move cars off-site.
Okay. Mr. Ryan?
2 questions. How was the flow of moving people into the lot? Did that move along okay, or was it backed up a lot, or?
So we did have some backup.
Okay.
We backed up out past our cones for a little bit. And again, we talked about making adjustments as we go on the fly. I think it's a brand new parking lot. You got a good company that's doing the parking, but everybody needs some time to get used to that. So we had to make some adjustments. We did once we, as we as the backup continued, we went out there and made those adjustments, put some different people on the road, and brought people in and kept the traffic moving. I think based on the amount of people that want to come to the fair, we're always going to have traffic. As long as we can keep it moving into the lots, that's when we're good. When we get stopped is when we have a problem.
Okay. And how did it go with getting people into the lanes? I did happen to know people getting into the wrong lanes and then having to try to correct.
So that's that's definitely one of the problems we had before as well. It's, the lanes are designated. We put signs out everywhere we can, and we still have some of that. Once the lanes are full up, it's a lot easier to keep people in lanes because they can see where they're supposed to be. It's usually when we have less traffic in the cones that people tend to wander and not notice what lane they're going to be in. One of the issues we have with the lanes is if you're coming southbound, the through traffic comes in the center lane, and when it gets to the police officer at Roger Road, it then transitions over to the right-hand lane, and some people get confused and come back into the center lane. So last year we purchased a bunch of signs like the signs you would use for election and put them along that right lane, saying through traffic, stay in the right lane, and that seems to help quite a bit.
Okay. Thank you.
It is always an ongoing issue. Obviously, we're splitting a 2-lane road into 3 lanes and doing the best we can with that, and it works very well when it's full up, and it gets a little honky when it's not so many people in the lanes.
Okay. Thank you.
Got a question on the back entrance, the Pine Street. People coming in through like Middleborough, Rochester, and I think you were redirecting them through maybe Waze or something like that. Was there any issues there?
Yes, we did do the Waze and the Google Maps. We haven't figured a way to do Apple Maps, and the people we were talking to that were coming in from that way had used Apple Maps to get that, or knew the route. So the Apple Maps is something we got to figure out. It wasn't. We could deal with it. It wasn't that bad. But there were some that, like I said, we were able to program out Waze in Google, but Mike Shaw's working on our Apple Maps approach to that.
Anyone else? Did anyone from the fair have anything to add to that discussion?
No, you know what? We were really pleased on how the traffic flow went. And again, learning live time, trying to figure out how it all is going to flow and work. But I think for first weekend, it went really well. And there weren't backups. People weren't complaining. Yeah, I think it went pretty well. And we're going to make adjustments. And like the chief said, we're going to have a meeting this week so that we can look at options of how we can make it even better.
Thank you. Chief, thank you.
Sure.
If you want to continue.
I would just suggest that we do move forward with this, with the plan for these 2 alternate lots. As far as the traffic plan goes, we have 2 different ideas in mind, and I need to put this in place and see it to see what is going to be actually the best way to do it. The fair would like to use the airport first because we know that's secured, and I'll let them speak to that. But I have a plan in mind to do both. We do need some signage that we're working on with them, and we've got to see it in real time to be able to tell you what is the best way to do it.
Okay. All right. Would you like to talk to us about the airport lot?
Well, I would love to. No. So last year, we also worked with them, and they were willing to give us auxiliary lot parking there. But then when we had secured the eat of the lot, it seemed it was just closer and easier and less of a mess trying to get people to get to the airport. So this year, we started working with them again and went through their airport commission, and they had approved it. And so we would like to go there first. I think that, like the chief said, we've been working on ways to, get there without causing any major traffic buildup. We ordered a bunch of other signs that just came in, and so we have more traffic signs to put up with directional arrows so people can just follow everything, as well as programming the electric boards. So I think it'll go very smoothly.
And how many cars do you anticipate parking over there?
Well, again, I think somewhere between 450, maybe 600.
Okay.
Should be lucky enough to do that.
And how often would you anticipate running buses from that lot to the fair?
Right, so I already took steps just now actually to reach out to the Carver Public School Board, where we have an agreement with, and ordered buses for this weekend, assuming that we would be hopefully approved. So just trying to plan ahead. And right now, I think if we can have, in these earlier weeks, maybe 3 buses, then going to 5 buses, so that no one's really waiting too long. Yeah.
But I guess my question is, do you anticipate a bus every half hour or a bus
Oh,
every?
I see what you're saying. It really only takes about 15 minutes to get there, so, there, load.
They'd just be circling back and forth on a
Exactly,
continuous
all day.
basis?
Yes.
Okay. And Chief, I assume, obviously, the airport lot is in Plymouth, so I assume you've been working with the Plymouth chief?
Yes, I have discussed it with Chief Flynn. He was looking at it, was going to get back to me. I don't have a response back from him yet as far as whether he need detail officers there or not. I would anticipate he probably will like officers there, getting people on and off South Meadow Road, but I can't speak with him. I did speak with him about it. He's aware of it, and I am waiting his response.
Okay. Other questions for either the chief or the fair on the Plymouth lot?
I guess I'm confused. You're saying you're talking to the Plymouth Police Chief, but is there a deal in place to use the airport lot?
There is a deal between the fair and the airport, yes. But the location is in the town of Plymouth, so I'm talking to him about whether he would require detail officers there or not.
Great.
Mr. Carter, you have a signed copy of that if you
Yep.
need. Anyone else? All right. Is there a motion to approve?
So are we also talking about the other location? There's only one location right now, just the airport?
Actually, we have made an agreement with the owner of the land where we used to reside for 43 years, that we could also use that. But because that just came through, the plans that we had put in place were originally for the airport lot, so we can eventually use that should we need it.
Okay.
But we're going to use the airport lot first, if that's okay.
And I think they probably should be separate, in separate motions, just because there could possibly be differences between the two.
Okay. What is the latest date of the traffic plan for the motion? I need to know what the effective...
Is September 2nd.
September 2nd? Okay. So I guess I'll move that the select board vote to accept the traffic plan dated September 2nd, 2025, and to authorize the town administrator in consultation with the 4 public safety chiefs to decide whether or not to accept requests for further amendments.
Okay.
I'll second that, but is there actually a date on the plan, September 2nd?
We will date the plan.
Okay, just checking.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
And I did see correspondence from all of the public safety chiefs that they're in favor of the plan as is, just to let
If I could, Mr. Chairman, I'll give the one caveat. The chief has said this at every meeting I've gone to, so I'll speak for him here. He reserves the right to change that plan on the fly, if you will. I mean, he talked about it tonight, it's critical. So he has to be able to have that.
And I think the important part of this is we've given the responsibility to you, working with the public safety chiefs. If we identify something going forward and we need to make a change.
Correct.
Then
If we need an
then
additional
make the
detail
change.
officer or signage, I don't have to come back to the board. I think that's something we can handle internally.
That's right. No, obviously, if you need something from the board, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was dated because it's updated from the original.
Correct.
All right. Should we, I guess my question is, should the motion include an address for the Plymouth lot? That's my only.
It did say the updated traffic plan, which has the lot inside.
Yeah.
It is on the plan that we voted on, right? The
That's my
address.
only question. Do we need some kind of address in there, or are we okay?
246 South Meadow Road, Plymouth, Mass.
Okay. You accept that as a friendly addition to your motion?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Mr. Hoffman?
So I just have a question. So the airport lot is what's going to be used effective first. And then the other lot that you just came in agreement, will that become then number 2 eventually, or do you want to stick with the airport for the rest of the season?
Well, we would like the option to have that second location if needed,
Okay.
so.
Okay. That's why I thought we'd do a motion for the airport lot, and then we can move on to a discussion about the other lot.
So I just know people would just,
Oh,
I've heard some
absolutely.
things about confused, are we going to do the airport this week and then next week we're going to go to the other place? And
No, we will always stick as the number 1 location would be the airport first.
okay, great. That's more for the public to know too. So, thank you.
Anything else? Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. Chief, do you want to discuss the other location at all at this point now, or do we want to leave that for a later meeting?
I think we can, it's up to you, but I think you certainly could discuss it and take a vote tonight
Yeah,
and
I think
save
so.
some time. The other location is the old location. It's
The old fair location, the old parking
The
lot.
old fair, that's a very large lot, holds quite a bit of cars. I think if we get to the point where we have the airport full and we fill up that lot, then we're gonna need a bigger boat. We're gonna need a lot more police officers, because there's gonna be a lot more people there, which is a good thing for the fair. But that's for a future discussion. We've already set that standard. The fair is already, this weekend on Monday, I called in for an extra officer to help out with no issues from the fair. If we get to that point where there's that many people parking there and that many people going to the fair, then we will make the adjustments to what we need for police officers on site, so that we can deal with that. But I don't have any problems with you voting on moving that forward as well.
So just so we're all clear, so I know most of those road flashing signs that you have up, they can be changed remotely. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you get to the point where the fair is just about full, the general fair parking at Edaville, and you have to choose an alternate site, at that point, those signs would all change to direct people to the Plymouth site, right?
Right.
And then only when the Plymouth remote parking lot got close to being full as well, then those signs would be changed
again.
once again to go to the third list.
In addition, we're using some sandwich board signs and some of the small election signs to get people to the right locations. I believe the fair is going to communicate on their tickets or on their website those other alternate locations, so that if we switch the alternate locations and the sign says full, use alternate lots, they'll have some idea or some way to go, even if they get lost, to put in their GPS and still get there.
Okay. Other questions from the board on the second alternate lot, I guess we would call it?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve that lot?
Oh, do you want to approve that? Well, that's not in a plan, so we can't approve a plan.
Well, I think the traffic plan includes, you would just adjust the traffic plan to...
Yeah, I definitely can just make it adjust on the fly to that, to make that work.
I'm just stating that we don't have a...
But it is shown in the, no, it is shown in the traffic
It is
plan.
in the new
Yeah.
traffic plan?
Way
You
at
have
the
that?
end.
Okay. So traffic plan dated
Again, I'd go with September 2nd.
tomorrow's date?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And I do have, well, go ahead.
Sure, all right, I'll move that with the updated traffic plan dated September 2nd, 2025, to include the both, well, we already made the motion on the airport site. This will include is there an address for that site?
235 Main Street, Carver, Mass.
All right, so to include 235 Main Street, Carver. I'll so move that we accept that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that site? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, is there anything else to add to the whole discussion here? Or you-
No, I just think that we're all moving forward in the right direction. We want to have a successful year for the fair and impact the residents as little as possible. We had some nice discussions with some of the residents on Rochester Road on Saturday morning, and they were all, I think, comfortable with what we're doing and how we're doing it. They've all been given my number. If they have any issues, they can reach out to me directly, and we will address them. So, thank you.
I know that I went with my grandkids Saturday morning, and there were no issues at all at that time. I was there for the opening. So anything you folks would like to add?
No, thank you. I mean, it was a very exciting opening, obviously quite different than our other site, but I think I haven't heard one negative comment yet, so that made me very happy, and social media is very excited about the new location, so we're just happy, so thank you.
Well, welcome. Thank you. And again, I think the most important thing that we've learned from the past years is that we're all working together on a proactive basis to find solutions to hopefully problems that will never exist because we work together. So thank you all for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. Moving right along here tonight. Our next item on the agenda is our emergency medical services and council on aging feasibility study update from our architect and engineer. This is on the space needs analysis and location. Folks, thanks for coming in this evening.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, maybe if I could, just to reiterate and kind of remind the board, we did have a feasibility study and a capital planning from last year. We moved forward with the study. Both consultants here at the same time. In a way, it's two different studies separately, but they do have to work together, and they've been great working together. So one, we have the architect here to talk about the feasibility really of a new emergency medical services facility and a new COA. And then really the biggest question of all is, the old police station. We hired an engineering firm to specifically look at that, because that is really the, what do you want to say, where it all turns, whether or not we can reuse that building or not is the biggest ticket item of the entire discussion, really. So, so again, the engineer and the architect here are going to present together, as a matter of fact.
All right. And I see that we also have our Council on Aging Director. Welcome. Would you like to come up and join the board?
This is fine.
You're fine? All right. Mr. Siedenthoff, are you're good? Everybody's good? Chief Ryan, you good too? All right, everybody's good. Okay. If you could just introduce yourself for the folks at home?
You have to speak right into the mic, pull it close.
I'm Mike Mitchell.
If you could just speak right into the
You
microphone.
have to pull the microphone
Pull it really
close.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it's...
My name is Mike Mitchell. I'm managing engineer at Carver Corporation. I work in the building structures department. We were tasked to look at the building to determine, what it would take to reuse this building for you. We looked at a couple different scenarios here. Well, we looked at repairs and we looked at the evaluation of what needs to be done to bring the building up to code.
I'm sorry, what building were you looking at? You said the building.
110 Main Street.
And that is?
It's the existing fire and police station.
Okay.
Okay. And if your associate could just introduce herself for the folks at home as well.
My name is Amy Dunlap. I'm a principal at HKT Architects.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, did you want me to go first?
No, I might go first.
I
think
go
it's
first?
good.
Okay. All right, so we looked at it, we assessed it for repairs, and we assessed it for what it would take to bring it up to the minimum code to be reused. You can see I put together a small slideshow. Basically, I've found a couple of issues, a couple of issues that are worth bringing up. You can see that the building is the fire station, the police station, and an addition that connects them both. Most of the issues that I found were in the addition in between. The roof on that building, it looks to be original to the construction. It's a relatively old building. It's leaking, or at least it shows signs of heavy leaking inside. You can see corroded deck. It needs to be replaced. The other piece on this one is it's the same building. It's extended and it's connected to the police station. And the Sally Port, if you look at the pictures, you can see this cracks over the top of the garage door bays. They go through the building. You can see them on the inside and outside. I'm not sure what caused them. It could be just a maintenance issue. It could have been something hit it. It's not clear, but I believe to reuse this building, you want to at least address the roof, replace the roof on the addition, and probably rebuild that wall. That would be the minimum repairs I think that would be required. No.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I'm really sorry to tell you, but you need to speak into the mic for the
Yeah,
folks
can
at
you pull it
home. If you
closer?
can pull it closer.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Do you want me to repeat anything, or did you not catch anything specific? No?
No,
That's fine. Keep
Okay.
going.
Okay.
All right, so to bring this thing up to a minimum code, we didn't have a floor plan in place. We didn't have any kind of a feasibility space study that we could really look at how this building would interact with the floor plan. So we made some assumptions. We assumed the minimum to reuse this building is pretty straightforward. The building needs the walls clipped to the roof at the perimeter. That's something that would require re-roofing or patching the roof. You need to clip those walls in there. For minimum reuse, I need to assume it's not going to be a substantial structural alteration, which means that basically you're going to reuse the shell, the bearing walls, all the structural systems as they are, and you really can't modify them. So with that said, you can use that as the minimum basis for reuse of this building. The issue is that it's very easy to exceed those limits, and the plan that we may review will likely exceed that, and you got to be careful with that. Essentially, it would be more difficult to reinforce that building if it comes to hitting that substantial structural alteration number. you basically have to rebuild the building from scratch. You retrofit it to meet modern codes. It doesn't likely meet that at the current states, and we don't know if it's reinforced masonry. We don't know if it, there's a lot of things we don't know about the building just based on a visual assessment of it. So, to reuse it would be difficult unless the programming could be made to fit within the shape as it is.
All right.
So,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, I think the architect would be able to elaborate on this a little bit more. I would say she looked into it in more detail on the detail of the building itself. The one thing that did concern me when the structural engineer did speak was the interior bearing walls, which I'm not sure we can identify right now. So if we get into it and we start doing alterations, we might be stuck with the interior configuration that you see today,
Okay.
which I don't think will work for anyone.
I don't think it's going to
But anyways, I'll let the
very
architect.
workable, no. But, okay, thank you.
So, as I say, my name's Amy Dunlap. I'm a principal at HKT Architects, and we do mainly municipal architecture through the Commonwealth and through New England these days, and that involves new construction, additions, renovations, and also doing programming and space needs analysis, existing conditions assessments, which is what we did for you folks for the EMS, the Council on Aging, and then taking a look at the old police and fire station. So I don't know who's controlling the slides, but thank you. So what we were tasked with was to do program development for the Council on Aging and EMS. And what that means is to figure out what spaces that those departments need to operate today and in the future. We did that, and then we did an architectural existing conditions assessment of the former police and fire station. And that was really to look at what the architectural challenges would be to reuse those buildings long-term to meet either the Council on Aging or the EMS department's needs. This was really an architectural assessment. We're looking at spaces, we're looking at space configuration, we're looking at finishes. Well, Mitch was looking at the structure. We did take a quick look at MEP systems, but we're not MEP engineers, so it's really just looking at the age of the systems and whether we think they could be reused given the substantial configuration or reconfiguration that would need to be done in the space. And then code compliance, looking at accessibility codes, looking what energy code triggers might be triggered through renovation. So the first part of this process was a program development process. That's to create this building program, looking at what these departments need, both currently and in the future. We start that out by sending out a detailed questionnaire that Chief Ryan and Connie Kelly completed for us. They both did a great job answering a lot of questions that we had, and then that became a basis of a conversation that I had with each of them separately. I went to each of their buildings, I talked to them in depth about their operations, I toured the facilities, and really what we're trying to understand is a sense of what their work processes are. We don't want to just hear, gee, I need an office that's 100 square feet. We really want to hear who they're interacting with, who's coming into those spaces, how they're working in those spaces, so that we can propose spaces that will meet their needs. We take all of that information back, and then we look at benchmarking what we typically design for other communities, use that as a guideline, but really making sure that what we're proposing is customized to what they're doing today and what they think they'll be doing in the future. We ask them to look into their crystal ball and see what they expect their operations will look like 5, 10, 20 years out, so that we're making sure we're planning for the future in this building. We then developed the Space Needs Program, which is a spreadsheet, lists all the different spaces that we're proposing, the square footage, how many occupants we anticipate being in that space, and then we also put in some qualitative data, like what kind of adjacencies, who should be next to one another, what spaces need access to the public, what security concerns might there be. Those sorts of things we start to document. We sent that over to the town. We had a follow-up conversation with Connie and with Chief Ryan, as well as town staff. We looked at it, we revised it, and developed the program that we're proposing today. This is a real summary of that program. The program, as I say, is listed by room, but we tried to summarize it for you here tonight by breaking each of the programs down into larger program groupings. So this is for the Council on Aging, and so on the left-hand side is a list of sort of big picture space categories that we have. Public spaces are things like lobby, gathering space, public toilets. The administration and support spaces, which are offices, conference rooms, private consultation rooms where the seniors can come in. They can meet with someone to talk about taxes. They can talk about mental health issues they might be having, those sorts of things. The biggest program element for the Council on Aging is the program spaces. Those are the large rooms where they run programs. They have a nutrition center where they serve meals to seniors. They have movement and fitness classes, things like yoga, chair volleyball. They have an activities classroom where they might have arts and crafts sorts of activities, reading rooms. That you'll see we were proposing all together for all those different spaces in that category. It's just over 8,000 square feet. And so that's over half of the building program that we're proposing. In total, we're proposing about 15,102 gross square foot for this building. I skipped over the last category there, but that's building support, which is mechanical, electrical, plumbing rooms. Those are things that you need in any sort of building. You can't skip over them when you're looking at these things. So we're looking at a building that's about 15,000 square feet, and then we also looked at exterior space needs. They have a substantial need for parking, both for current, future staff, for volunteers, for senior work-off folks who are coming to the building to help out, for visitors. When they run these activities, when they have activities like bingo, and they're having lots and lots of folks coming, they have on average right now about 60 people who are coming at any given time to bingo, or 60 folks who are coming at any time. So we need to program enough parking spaces so that they can run these programs and have everyone have a space. Exterior program spaces, seating spaces outside, patio spaces, spaces to play bocce, to play horseshoes, to possibly have gardening classes. And then support spaces, spaces for dumpsters, for emergency generators, for septic systems, for stormwater retention systems. So factoring all of that in, looking at similar buildings of similar sizes for this use group, we're estimating that you'd need a site that's about 3 to 3.5 acres to accommodate all of that. A big caveat when we say this, we're talking about buildable acres generally when we're saying that. So you might have a site that is 3 and 3.5 acres, but half of it is full of wetlands or has endangered protected species on that site. And so you might not be able to fit it. So the next step would really to be do a site location study to start doing some test fits of the program on potential sites. This is a potential acreage to give you an idea of what types of sites you should be looking for, and then you start to test the program on it. The next slide, this is looking at the emergency medical services, again, sort of doing the same thing. We have public spaces, administration and support spaces, which are all those offices, a training room so that the EMS staff can get trained on the latest techniques. Staff support spaces, those are dormitories, toilets, shower rooms, locker rooms. Also their standby room. There's a lot of times when they're in the station waiting for the next call, doing report writing, those sorts of things. It's a space for them to work in during that time. And then the wellness room. Mental health and physical health are so important for first responders these days. Operations, the ambulance bays themselves, and then all the support spaces that they need for medical supply storage, decontamination. Again, building support for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and IT. So for the EMS building, we're looking at about 12,636 square feet that we'd need, 13 parking spaces, an exterior space for dining and grill, and then again, those support spaces. So we're looking at about 2.5 to 3 acres that they would need.
Can I just stop you for one quick second? So when you talk about the space needs in acres,
yeah,
you're talking about individual buildings, right? So if both
Correct.
of these buildings were situated on the same parcel, you'd need something in the vicinity of 6 acres.
Yes, probably. There might be some overlap if they were both going to be on the same parcel. We were really looking at separate parcels.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then we looked at the existing police, or the former police and fire station at 110 Main Street, and again, really with an eye to the architecture. This is a slide showing some of the issues that we found with the exterior envelope. You can see in the upper photos there, the EFIS siding, it's damaged, it's chipped away, there are dents in it. We found the wood, the paint is peeling. We found some areas with some wooden rot and some damaged trim. The storefront glass on the second row down on the left-hand side, that's an image of the storefront. The finish is all worn away. There are gaskets missing. The glass is actually loose in the framing system right now. Similarly, with the overhead doors on the second row down, the middle two photos there of the overhead doors, you can actually see daylight through elements of the door system. The weather stripping's missing. The panels within the framing don't fit properly, and you can see daylight where they've pulled away. The personnel doors, there are accessibility issues. Some of them are rusting. There's deteriorated gasketing and glazing. And then the roof, as Mitch said, there are indications of leakage. There's rusted steel decking, and there's acoustic ceiling tiles inside that have a lot of staining on them. The next slide. Looking at the interiors, the room layout, as we said, it's very customized to police and fire needs right now. And you can think about a police station. We've got detention cells, we've got booking areas, we've got dispatch rooms, we've got sally ports. It's very customized to public safety needs. Even in the fire department, there's a hose drying tower. So that would really need to be addressed if the building was going to be reused. The floors are in sort of fair to poor condition. On the upper right-hand corner there, you can see what the apparatus bay flooring looks like. The epoxy is peeling away. Other flooring, carpet is worn, it's stained, there are wear patterns in it. VCT has scuffs, some of it's cracking. The ceilings throughout the acoustic tile, it's stained, it's sagging. There are tiles that are missing, they're broken. The doors have shown quite a bit of wear on them. The hardware is not handicap accessible everywhere. In general, all the fixture, the cabinetry and appliances are all very aged. And then one thing that was quite noticeable when you went into the police department portion of the building, there was a very strong musty smell. And so if the building were going to be reused, we would recommend that you have some air quality testing done to determine if there is any mold growth. And then you'd have to figure out where that was coming from, what kind of water infiltration might be causing that. And through any reuse study, you'd need to do hazardous materials testing to see if there's any asbestos or lead paint PCBs present. So accessibility and egress codes, there are a number of accessibility challenges within this building. The second floor is not handicap accessible. There is the only access point to the second floor is actually one stair that egresses into the apparatus bays. So both from an accessibility standpoint and an egress code standpoint, there are issues with using the second floor. There are also multiple floor changes throughout the station. In every garage space, apparatus space, sally ports, there are steps down between the surrounding spaces. All of that causes issues for handicap accessibility through the building. There are also clearance issues in toilet rooms, in corridors, at doors, in kitchens, at counters, and other spaces. So in general, the space needs findings basically is, as I said, it's very highly specialized spaces, and really, if these buildings were going to be reused for any other use, there'd need to be substantial reconfiguration of the interior in order to make that work. You're really looking at a gut renovation. The finishes are old and worn, as we said, that all needs to be upgraded. Accessibility would need to be resolved. That could be with an addition of a stair and elevator to get you up to the second floor. You'd need two means of egress from the second floor that exit to either the exterior or to a lobby space, so that one existing stair would need to be either reconfigured or replaced with another stair to get you out of the building. The MEP systems in general, a lot of them look to be aged. I think certainly if you were going to reconfigure all these spaces and plan on investing the money to reuse this building in the future, you'd really be looking at replacing all the MEP systems to get the most out of your investment. So it really is a substantial renovation that would be required of this building if you were going to be reusing it. And the other thing I will say is that for anytime you touch the building envelope, you have to look at whether or not you're triggering full accessibility with the new energy code. So when Mitch is talking about exposing the roof deck, for example, you would have to, what you put back would have to meet the new energy code. You'd be talking about putting more insulation back than is currently there. Anytime you talk about replacing the overhead doors or rebuilding exterior wall assemblies or replacing any of the windows, you're triggering a certain amount of energy code compliance, and you would have to address those issues as well.
Quick question.
Yeah.
And just ballpark it, right now you're saying for the Council on Aging, you think that the square footage needed is 12,102 square feet. You know,
15,102.
15,102, what is it, 15,102. What's the current they're in right now, do you know?
Around 10.
1,000? And the same thing for EMS? Do we know what they're in right now? Ballpark?
Chief Randus.
5,000. 5,000 square feet. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
So it sounds like, I mean, from all of your analysis, and I kind of knew this answer before, that's why we moved out and built a new police station and fire station, that I think what we had told the public at the time is the building was effectively unusable, and there would be just too much money to try to renovate it, and that's why we ended up building a new police station, new fire station. So there is no summary or conclusion, but it's sounding like the cost to try to do any kind of renovation, and you don't even know what some of that is because you haven't opened up walls and things like that. And we're better off just, either just tearing down that entire site and redoing it, or looking for alternative sites if we have them in town for the space needs of both the EMS and the Council on Aging as it stands today. I don't think you didn't look at any renovation of the existing site of the Council on Aging. I don't even know if that's possible, but you weren't asked to look at what they have there and what it would take to.
I wasn't asked to do that, but just walking through the building, I mean, there are a number of challenges in that building as well.
Right.
I mean, it's a lovely building, it's a homey building and all, but, it's got some real serious accessibility issues, which are concerning, certainly with seniors. And accessibility, not just handicap accessibility, but trying to get down to the basement level. There's one very steep curving staircase that I know even the staff is concerned using.
Mm-hmm.
There's no accessibility getting up to the second floor level. When folks come in, it's very difficult if they're not familiar with the building to have any sort of wayfinding to know where they're supposed to go. They're basically entering into a little corridor with no view of staff or anything. So it's a challenging building.
Okay, and my second question was, what is the acreage next door? What was the total acreage that's available there and the footprint for that?
Do you know that from the site? Don't know.
You mean
Okay.
at the current, at
The
the
current
market
site next door, if we were to tear that whole building down, what is the available
I
acreage?
want to say it's about 4 acres. Is that-
Yeah, Mr. Cannon, do you have that? Because I know from my previous question I asked these folks, they're estimating that for us to build a Council on Aging and a new EMS building, we would need between 5.5 and 6.5 acres. I know a lot of this discussion has been rebuilding on the site adjacent here to Town Hall. Do we have that kind of land here? How big is this parcel?
I don't have the acreage of it, but I believe we do have the land here because we could, for the EMS, the majority of the parking is employee parking, and we can dictate where they park. So I'm comfortable if they have a little bit of a walk to get to their place of employment. Where the COA, you probably want to have more, park closer to the facility.
Absolutely.
So I think we have to look a little bit further into that.
Okay,
as to
could
what
you
that-
could you get us, could you ask
Yes.
someone, Mr. Siedentoff, you don't have that information, do you?
I can get it, I don't
Well,
have.
yeah, we can, I will definitely get it.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure the COA site is 4 acres. But the thing is, they don't have to be on the same parcel of land.
But I don't mean the current COA site. I mean
Right.
this site right here.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Okay.
And I guess part of that is a follow-on, we have that next door, but also if we were to build a new EMS or something, what else do we have available as a site, as a whole here in the center of town that could be used for one or both of these buildings?
It should show the acreage.
Yeah, I believe the lot goes behind the current EMS building. It extends behind. But I don't know how much there is there. Mr. Hoffman.
So I guess that was my question. So the old police station, fire station, say we were to do this, the current EMS, we would be using that land as far as maybe for parking or part of this building as well?
So.
Or are you just talking about the footprint that's there now as far as the old police station or fire station combo?
We were just looking at 110 Main Street, just the
Okay.
old police and fire, when we were analyzing the building. Mike just pulled up the site evaluation that PAR did, and it says the existing site is, I think that it says 1.87 and 6 acres. I think there's some overlap between this site and the EMS site, so I'm not sure exactly where the lot lines are drawn.
Okay. And you didn't do any analysis on the current EMS building, right? You just did it on the police fire station.
We didn't do this kind of analysis. As you say, I did tour the facility with the chief as part of the programming assessment. So I got a sense of the space that they're in and the constraints that they're in right now, but not in terms of its condition for reuse or renovation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ryan?
And then the other situation next door, maybe you can speak to a little bit, is we have the gas tanks there too. So any kind of renovation that we do over there is going to have to also, take into account the gas tanks.
Yeah, we have to figure
that are
out where
there.
that goes, because the buses use that too.
Right.
Mr. Carter?
So this whole analysis, we really have 3 building needs, right? We need to do something with EMS, council on aging, but we also need a recreation building. You weren't tasked with doing anything on that, correct?
No.
Thank you.
If I could, Mr. Chair, though, I believe if we were able to get a new facility for the COA, that the existing building could be at least a space for recreation.
I think that's ideal. I'd love to see recreation at the COA if that worked, and then maybe the COA at the police and fire station, EMS in the back, or vice versa, but that just seems like the best scenario.
I think we could reuse that building again.
Yeah.
Right now, recreation really doesn't have any space or designated for themselves, so.
Makes a lot of sense too, since it's adjacent to the pickleball courts and they have the kayaks down there during the summer and a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mr. Ryan?
Yeah, there's a long way to go for planning, but I would think the EMS would want to be right on 58 as close as possible so they can get out quicker. It's usually a lot to have to go around, so if we were to, consider their needs, then I would think they would want to be right on 58.
Yeah, and I think in previous discussions on this site, that's always been the plan, to move EMS closer to the road, and then if there was going to be a council on aging, have it be
in the back.
In back,
Right.
yes.
Okay.
So I guess, when are we going to look at that plan?
Well, it's just stages, and we're in the first stage right now. That we have to start, and that's what we're doing. Mr. Cannon, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just wanted to bring it up to the board again, that both consultants have submitted their reports to us. I think we'll take a look at those, look at the acreage of these lots, and then come forward with the board for an overall plan. Or, honestly, a phasing plan, I would say.
Ms. Kelly, Ms. Chief Ryan, do you have anything you'd like to add?
It sounds like we have a starting point, and that's what we were looking for. We don't start now, when would we start? So
No, that's right. Okay. Anyone have anything else?
No, thank you
All right.
for putting this together.
Thank you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to this?
No, just thank you.
We
for-
appreciate the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along, next is a vote to ratify the operations and maintenance union contract. Is there a motion to ratify that contract?
So moved.
So actually, I'd like to state it a little differently if possible. So it's actually ratifying the memorandum of agreement between the town of Carver and AFSME CME Council 93 Local 1700, because this is a contract with them, right?
Mhm.
So I probably want to
appropriate.
use the,
Correct, so moved.
okay.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
And maybe, do people need an explanation of what we're doing? I don't know if anybody wants to.
It's a
Nope.
public record. if
We've
they-
been
Okay.
doing this for like 2 years.
Yeah, then it's a no cost to the town, and it's worked with King Richard's
It just addresses
Fair.
the King Richard's Fair.
Yeah, it just addresses the support of King Richard's Fair from operations and maintenance on the weekends and the holidays. And so it's a formal contract that, in writing, that we've put together.
And there was a second, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You seconded it? Yeah.
So I wanted to ask Mr. Siedentopf, are you good with this too?
Yes.
Excellent. That's all I
All
need to know.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. Next is a discussion and possible vote to finalize the land development agreement for 11 Green Street, Habitat for Humanity, could include a restriction of Mass General Law, Chapter 184. Mr. Cannon.
Sure.
We've had this on our agendas an awful lot.
Mr. Chairman, I believe tonight is our final night for 11 Green Street. We are asking you tonight to approve the deed and the, I'm sorry, I want to check the correct language here, and the, what is it? I'm sorry. The affordable housing deed rider we also need, and then also, the land development agreement. And I know Amy Dunlap is here. Amy, Bill,
Sure, if
sorry.
you'd like to come up and give us a little background, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, Bill, sorry.
Just one thing, it's at some particular point in time, can I get the total cost of 11 Green Street, which is money from CPC, money from the general fund, money from any money source that we've spent on that?
Mr. Carter, I believe the town administrator has that answer.
I believe we
for
have that answer
Thank
tonight.
God.
Do we have that, Mr. Cannon?
He's looking, it's underneath the laptop.
Nope.
You can put on the screen.
I'm sorry, Ms. Belmore, just one.
No problem.
So $96,364.75. Yeah, $93,000. So that is the money spent to date.
128, okay. And then we're committed to do something else at the end, right, per this agreement? For some other work, there's supposed to be some site work, I thought, or something.
That's 125,000.
There is also no commitment from the town for $125,000. We are supplying materials that Habitat for Humanity will be using to build.
Add to that.
Correct, to add to that, correct.
That's CPC funds.
Yeah, so kind of two things, the money that we've actually spent today, but then there's also the money that we're committed to spending,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah, if you can just send that to me whenever you can, just the
Sure.
total number.
Okay, total number.
Every nickel.
Okay, there's a motion. So I move that the Town of Carver Select Board vote to accept and approve the proposed restriction on the property located at 11 Green Street, Carver, Mass. as an affordable housing restriction pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 184, to be held by Habitat for Humanity for the purposes of preserving the long-term affordability of the property in accordance with applicable state and affordable housing guidelines in partnership with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth, Inc., and further that the Select Board authorize the Chair and/or Town Administrator to execute and deliver the affordable housing restriction and any other related documents, and to take all actions necessary to ensure its proper recording with the Plymouth County Registry of Deeds, and to take all actions necessary to ensure a request is submitted to the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities for their approval under Mass General Laws, Chapter 184.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Belmore, would you like to just tell us a little bit about the changes in this deed?
There actually, a couple of weeks ago, I guess I was here before the board and explained the nature of this particular pathway, Chapter 184 being different than the LIP program that a typical affordable housing unit would go through to be counted on the subsidized housing inventory. So this is simply the different mechanism that is required, or rather approved by the state, which carries with it that affordable housing deed restriction so that it will stay affordable in perpetuity for future buyers as well. And we are very grateful to be before you, and hopefully for the last time, I think, for everyone's sake.
All right, well, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Belmore? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you all.
for coming in
Thank
once
you very
again.
much.
Thank you.
We look
And I
forward
have
to
a-
welcoming you to 11 Green Street while we're under construction.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And through the chair, I have a second motion.
Yes.
So a motion to authorize the Select Board Chair to sign the affordable housing deed rider on behalf of the board.
Second that.
All right, motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. Next, and we are ahead of our time here on the agenda, is a discussion and possible vote on the entertainment licenses for Three Sips Brewing Company LLC. Is there anyone here from Three Sips? Oh, good, okay. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for coming in a little bit early.
No problem.
All right. Mr. Cannon, would you like to update us on where we are here?
Sure. So previously, the board had approved an entertainment license for Three Steps Brewing. I would say with the condition that there be a stockade fence, was my understanding. It was shown on the plan as a stockade fence to be around the perimeter of the outdoor entertainment space. The fence that has been installed, I describe as a snow fence, which is not as rigid as a stockade fence. It's more flexible, if you will. I've also had discussions with the building commissioner, who is concerned about this snow fence out there, and is recommending that it be a more sturdy stockade fence, which would, hold back or restrict people from entering or exiting from the property.
All right.
So unfortunately, we have not been able to make the upgrades. I think last time I left our meeting, I was a little positive on, having the funds to do so. We got multiple prices. It exceeded my estimate of what I thought it would cost. We got prices, the cheapest one, $13,000. I went back and forth, maybe, can we do this ourselves? And, we don't have the manpower, and at the end of the day, it should be done right. I'm hoping that maybe we could get another extension, maybe bringing it into spring for the next season. A lot of companies were booked out. It would have been unrealistic to have it done by now. We just want to give you what you're asking in a proper way. If we could have more time, that's all we're asking.
Mr. Cannon, can you read back the motion that the board approved when we granted the temporary license?
Two motions, Mr. Chairman. Motion to approve the entertainment license for Three Steps Brewing Company LLC was made by that the fencing be approved by the building commissioner and meets any noise ordinance that would only use one microphone for acoustics to the approved license through September 3rd, made by Ms. Ewens and seconded by Mr. Ryan.
Okay, so was this fencing that's in place right now, was that approved by the building inspector?
The building commissioner is concerned with the fencing as it sits today, and he would like to see the fence upgraded.
He wants to see a stockade fence.
I understand that. My question is, did he approve it or did he not approve it?
At the time, I believe he did approve it.
Okay, I just want to be clear, because I believe this gentleman has tried to comply, and that's the question with what the board, if the board made a motion that the fencing needs to be approved by the building inspector, and the building inspector approved the fencing, then this gentleman, is doing what the board instructed. So.
Mr. Chair? Yes. So, Mr. Cannon, isn't the question that you said that the building commissioner is anxious about the current existing snow fence?
Correct. I'd have to talk to the building commissioner again, whether or not he approved this snow fence as a permanent, or whether it was a temporary.
Temporary.
Correct, that's what I am unclear of.
Okay. So it sounds like he wants a permanent stockade fence.
He is concerned about the fence, and he would like to see a permanent stockade fence.
Again, I understand it's a work in progress here. What I'm trying to say is that this gentleman has technically complied with the motion made at the last select board meeting. If the building inspector
technically he has, yes.
He has complied. So with that being said, I think we can have a discussion and whether the board wants to grant an extension, and if so, when they would like to grant that extension until.
My 2 cents. First of all, I visited your establishment last week. Awesome smash burgers.
Great.
That I could finish
Thank
it.
you.
Good fries.
Appreciate it.
What kind of extension do you think you need?
Like I said, we do have some musical acts lined up, some great ones over the course of the next couple weeks. It is a great draw for us for business. We would love to keep those people. If you could give us until March, if that's doable, that would be great. Give us time to get the money to do it. So I think March is a good time before that space opens up again after it's closed.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Carter, could I just ask, so the exterior space, you mentioned till it's closed, is there a date when it closes?
Well, there's not a specific date, but I mean, most likely November. I mean, once we get into the heat of fall, it'll,
So I guess
people stay inside. We won't have any live
let's pick a date and say Thanksgiving, just to have a date to talk about.
Sure.
So if on Thanksgiving you decide, okay, we're going to close that space, and then in January you got a beautiful 65-degree day, is it possible that space would open again for a weekend or something? Or once it's closed, is it closed to a date certain sometime in the spring?
I'll leave that up to you. I mean.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Cotter.
Yeah, I don't, unless there's, everybody's concerned about safety, obviously, the snow fence, making a more permanent fence. We want to see that happen as soon as possible, but I don't have a problem with extension.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Hoff.
So I have a question. So the motion was to approve the entertainment license for 3 Sips was made that the fencing be approved by the building commissioner. So the current fencing, was that approved by the building commissioner?
As a temporary fence.
Well, again, approved by the building commissioner. I'm not sure as to whether or not he thought it was temporary or permanent. Again, because I didn't have that direct conversation with him.
I was in
But
the
he-
hallway with you, and he said he wanted a permanent stop.
Well, he does say he wants to upgrade the fencing. I know right now.
But again, this motion was approved
Right.
as long as the building commissioner approved the fence. So I would imagine that's the current fence.
Yes,
Well,
if
we
you're saying
can't
the
just
building
imagine.
commissioner approved it, then he approved it. And
Right, so again, you're right, Sarah, we can't imagine it, so we have to find
Yeah.
out, did he approve
Yeah.
the current fence? And I just want to make sure everything's done correctly, because
Yeah.
That's my concern as well.
This vote was approved pending the building
And
commissioner.
if I could, Mr. Chairman, maybe if the board is gracious enough to give an extension, it give me and the building commissioner an opportunity to sit down with the owner. Maybe there's something in between a stockade fence and something that the building commissioner feels is more secure that could be put up there for less money. A stockade fence, I imagine, is probably the most expensive of, where we might be able to do something else.
Well, I guess my question, so right now, you have outdoor entertainment,
Yes.
so the fence, so it must have been approved. I mean, so the building commissioner must have approved the fence.
For temporarily, yes.
My,
Well, it doesn't say temporarily here, it just says
That-
the building inspector approved,
Yes,
I'm sorry,
he-
fencing
he
be
said-
approved by the building
But
commissioner.
that's the issue. Mr. Cannon isn't sure if he approved it as a temporary fence, because he clearly wants a permanent stockade fence.
Mr. Cannon,
Yes.
prior to us scheduling this agenda item, I asked you to find out whether the fencing complied with the previous motion, which was fencing to be approved by the building inspector. So I understand the building inspector may feel that we need to work toward another type of fencing. But either he approved the fence or he didn't approve the fence. And if he did, then that complies with the previous motion that was made in this board. And if he didn't, even if he wants it, I understand things change, but I'm just trying to get an answer to whether he approved it or he didn't approve it. And do we know?
He is an operating business. It is approved by the building commissioner.
Okay. All right, so now I think if that's the case, then the board can have a discussion on whether we feel that another type of fence is more appropriate, and we can work with the applicant to try to get that done. But if it's approved, it's approved. And perhaps you can have a conversation with the building inspector tomorrow and get an email out to the board as to whether it was approved conditionally with some type of upgrade or it wasn't.
So I guess my question, why does he need an extension if the building commissioner approved it?
Well, and that's...
Well, one thing, you voted to approve a license through September 3rd.
Right.
So actually, tomorrow his license ends.
We have to vote on another. I do have a couple of questions, though.
Okay.
So there is a difference between, we grant an entertainment license. I don't know if the entertainment license is subject to us being able to, recommend fencing, whereas the building inspector is looking at the property as a site. So, the building inspector view of a fence may be different than us as a entertainment, granting an entertainment license, knowing that people are going to be outside. So it may be a combination of the two. So, even though the building inspector may say, hey, that, from a property point of view, that fence is fine, but we are granting the entertainment license, which means that it is within our authority to look at the property and make sure that from people being outside that it is adequate. And then my second question is, how long do we usually make the license to? Like, what's a normal license? Is it a 1 year, and what's it from? Do we have an annual date? Does it usually expire on an annual date, or is it just 1 year from when we grant the license?
So normally till December 31st.
So we could always vote tonight to extend it to the end of the year.
Right.
And then, in the meantime, maybe you can meet with the building inspector and resolve that anyhow, because it would have expired at the end of the year. And as you're saying, that would be when it normally expires, and then you'll have to do a new entertainment license for next year. And at that point, you'll be back before the board for the new entertainment license, and we can make sure that, we reconcile the situation. So I guess we could just simply make a motion to extend the license to December 31st. Approve it till December 31st. Not really we're extending it, we're just going to approve it through December 31st. An entertainment license
Can I
from the
just say
board.
one thing? Because I did talk to town council about your right to require a fence, and town council was adamant that you have the right to require a fence.
And that was my point. As an entertainment, that's different than a building inspector's view of the property. They may be looking at it from a different reason than the board, whereas we're granting an entertainment license, so we want to make sure that the fence is adequate for that entertainment license.
I believe in your packet is a copy of the state law, public safety and good order, related to concerts, dances, exhibits, public shows, et cetera, licenses, applications. So, again, he without hesitation, he told me it was within your right.
Okay, and that's good. The town council said it is within, which is consistent with the entertainment license, which is consistent with our board being able to weigh in on that fence, even though the building inspector may have a different view of a fence need. So I guess my motion is to just, grant the license through December 31st, 2025, while, in the meantime, it'll expire, and then hopefully by next year, we'll have a solution for the permanent fence, if people are okay with extending it to the end of the year.
That's on the entertainment license, right?
Yes, so I'm moving that we extend the entertainment license, or grant that it's valid through the end of the year, December 31st, 2025. I could add language subject to, the town administrator and, building inspector working out a reasonable fence that, for the purpose of the use of the property.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Howe?
So the motion that we did back in the day was made that the fencing be approved by the building commissioner, meets any noise ordinance, and that would only use one microphone for acoustic to approve license through September 3rd. Would we want to do that whole motion and just extend it from September 3rd now through the end of the year?
That's what I think I said. I'm just extending the existing license through the end of the
I just
year
didn't know
under
if we
the
had to
same
put the
terms.
acoustic, the microphone and the whole.
Sure, I'll add subject to the same
So
conditions.
we do not have a noise ordinance in town. We did research that before.
So
You can still talk
it's
about the
irrelevant.
microphone for the acoustics.
And that's only inside, though. That would only be inside.
This is just for outside, correct? We're talking
No, but I'm saying
this
the
license?
noise, the microphone is only because of inside, being able to hear fire alarms and things. It's not subject to the outside, and there is no noise. We don't have a noise ordinance for
And
outside.
the entertainment license we're approving is for the entire property. It's not for the outside or the inside. It's for the whole, the whole property. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Ms.
And the
Ms.
motion still includes the town administrator and the building commissioner working with the applicant to come up with a more appropriate fence?
Yes, that was what I said in the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous, thank you. Next is the discussion and possible vote on the Sunday entertainment license for Three Sips Brewing Company, LLC.
Okay. We also had that expire too?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make the same motion to grant that license through the end of the year, subject to the same terms and conditions.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Hearing, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Please
We
let
will
us
have
know
it
if you
done.
have any issues, or we'll work together with you, okay?
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can always talk to the building commissioner yourself. He's a very responsible fellow.
Okay,
Very,
thank you.
he's easy to get along with.
I know Rod. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
All right.
Thanks.
moving right along ahead of schedule tonight. Who would have thought it? We have the Indian Street 61A first right of refusal update. Mr. Cannon.
Mr. Chair, before we do that, I'm just curious why we are not discussing the special town meeting articles.
Well, because after discussing them with Mr. Cannon, we felt like the length of the discussion on those articles was going to take us so late in the evening that we scheduled another meeting on September 9th to discuss.
Just for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Hopefully just for that. As far as I know, there's nothing else that we need to add to that agenda. But that's why we felt that was going to be quite a lengthy discussion.
And to have the focus on just the warrant, I think, it's so important, it really does.
That's right.
Like that.
We also wanted to invite, if I could just add, we wanted to invite people in to talk about those articles. And with so much on the agenda, it was hard to give them a definitive time to be here.
There might have been 12 people on the invite list. I can't remember now. I was looking through the list in my head. Okay, Indian Street, this is lot 1 we're looking at. So just to give the board a little bit of history here. So the applicant here has come up with taking lot 1 of this, and I want to say it's 4+ acre lot, all in section 161, all in section 61A, but only taking lot 1 out. That's the only one that was granted a building permit, if you will. You can see Indian Street on the map there. In the center is a functioning cranberry bog. I believe they're irrigating this morning. And then there is lot 1 and lot 2, which are really stripped of vegetation. I did have a meeting with Bob Bentley today. He asked me, he thought if they were removing soil from there. I couldn't really tell, but they are stripped of vegetation.
Did you, I'm sorry to interrupt, did you ask the conservation agent if we could use Conservation Trust Fund money?
I did ask that. So the first recommendation coming out, the planning board and both the conservation recommended this lot 1. The board exercised their right of first refusal and purchased this land. With that said, the conservation does have a separate fund for purchasing land. The agent said he didn't think that this land was appropriate for that because, again, it's all stripped of vegetation. Lot 1 is basically a sand pit.
But the Conservation Commission recommended
the
purchasing
conservation
land.
agent, yes, they did recommend purchasing the land,
Well,
but
he
not using their own.
represents them,
Correct.
But they don't want to use part of the Conservation Trust Fund.
Correct.
For that land. So then, just at the last meeting, we discussed the Buzzards Bay Coalition.
Correct.
Purchasing that land and us transferring our right to them. So you had a discussion with the Buzzards Bay Coalition, and that's not an option either, correct?
They're willing to help us out, hold the conservation restriction, even do maintenance on the land, but they don't have the funding to buy this. It's approximately $150,000.
Okay.
I would say our last, we have 2 more reasons, avenues to go through. One would be going through CPC fund or open space acquisition. Again, I did talk to Bob Bentley today. He's going to put together a meeting of the community preservation group before the 16th, hopefully before the 9th, even for your next meeting, and give us an answer whether they'd want to be able to purchase this lot.
Hopefully by the 9th, so we can discuss it.
Hopefully by the 9th, correct. And there is one more avenue. The board could take money, or the town could take money out of the stabilization fund. I would say this to the board: if the community preservation is not going to step forward with funding for this project, I'd recommend you actually remove it from the warrant. And we have a draft article. You remove it from the warrant. Tell the applicant they can sell it to their prospective buyer. I can't see taking money out of stabilization fund for it.
And that, I would certainly, if the Conservation Commission is recommending we purchase it, but they don't want to use the Conservation Trust Fund to purchase it, doesn't seem to be a good idea to take money out of our emergency stabilization fund.
So,
to purchase it.
if I may, Mr. Chair, so I don't think we should decide on this yet, because I don't think anyone's thought of the possibility of using that land for parking. There are 2 big conservation parcels there. One's 29 acres that belongs to, it's under the care and custody of conservation. The other is a bigger parcel that's belongs to the Buzzards Bay Coalition. But the parking that's there now is, first of all, hidden by weeds, and it's for 2 cars.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I will say this, so the Buzzards Bay Coalition, again, they do not have the $150,000 to purchase land.
I'm just suggesting the board that may not want to vote on this today until the conservation considers.
We are not going to vote on this today.
Okay, good.
But also, the Buzzards Bay Coalition did talk about, again, maintaining the site. One thing they talked about was maintaining parking on the site.
Okay.
Not paved parking, but,
Yeah.
an unpaved spot. And maybe even some split rail fence,
Yeah.
to delineate this lot from the cranberry bog and from lot 2.
Good idea.
Because, when you're looking at it in the field, you really can't tell where the lot lines are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you need to get us some guidance as
Yes.
to whether there's other options besides stabilization fund monies to purchase this land.
again-
Looks like we're running out of options.
I would say, Mr. Chairman, we are running out of options. You know, we went to the Conservation Commission, said no. Buzzards Bay Coalition said no. Community preservation is our last choice. At that point, I'm going to advise the board to answer is no.
And do you know, so do they have a definitive meeting date right now, or do they not?
They do not. He's had
Okay.
trouble over the summer getting a quorum. Hopefully with the summer now over, more people are back and he'll be able to get a quorum and set up that meeting. I spoke to him today. He's going to.
All right. Well, if you could let Mr. Bentley know that we do have a meeting scheduled on the 9th to discuss town meeting articles, so if there's any chance
I did tell
that
him
they
that,
could have a
yes.
meeting.
Yeah, if any chance he can get the, yes.
Okay. Are there questions from the board on this?
We got lots of questions about this whole setup of these articles, of the lots and the bogs and everything else, but that's gonna be a whole nother discussion.
Okay. Now, Ms. Carter, if you could just make sure you speak into the microphone
Yes.
when you are. Okay. All right, I guess, is there anything else on that, Mr. Cannon?
No, that's just an update for the board, really.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll stick with you for your town
Sure,
administrator
and
update.
I'll go fairly quick, Mr. Chairman. I know we're getting late into the evening.
But not as late as we thought we were going to be.
I know, we are ahead of schedule, so.
We could talk about articles.
That's right, articles. One thing I do want to remind the board, and I found this handy handout that we have down in the IT department. It is all about protecting your data. I think this is more important than ever. I know at Town Hall, we are receiving phishing emails every single day. They are getting better and better. They're using names now. I think with this...
With AI.
Yeah, AI.
Yeah, they're able
they
to-
are really getting better. I know when I was in the town of Bourne, I actually received an email from the chairperson of the board, you know, with her email address, her town of Bourne email address. So they are getting better and better at it. Again,
But it wasn't really her.
it wasn't really her. No, she did not send it.
Checking.
And again, we get these scamming emails all the time. So it's just all about protecting your data. It's a great handout to have. It's down at the IT department. I encourage everybody to grab a copy of it. You happen to hand it out.
Maybe if you could, perhaps you could scan that and send it out to
Sure.
the board?
Yes.
Might be a good
Yeah,
idea.
it would be a good idea. I think it is a good idea.
In fact, it might be a good idea to scan it and send it out to anyone who has a Carver email address.
Correct.
Yeah,
Very
including
handy
all the
information.
boards, commissions, and
Sure.
committee members. I'm sure the department heads have it already, hopefully.
I believe even our IT director, he sends out emails to check to make sure staff
He
is-
does.
Yes, he
They're
does.
very
So-
tricky emails.
Yeah, and you know, again, just to be cautious, so he wants to know who he has to work with a little bit more and, you know, who needs to be identified. I know previously I did talk about the paving schedule, and it is coming up fast now. We don't always get to pick and choose when our roads get paved. With the contractors, you know, when they come through your area, you kind of have to move on that. So Bow Street is set for Monday, September 8th, starting at 6:30 a.m. and will continue through the week. There will be police details there to assist with residents and school buses as they navigate the road. But again, there's going to be a lot of heavy construction equipment out there. Just want residents to be careful out there and take caution. With that said, there is also going to be a schedule for the COA. So while the paving company's here, they're going to be doing Bow Street, I think it's Bowden Street, and then also the COA parking lot and the beach parking lot down at the COA. That is going to have some significant impacts on the COA. They're actually going to be closing the COA parking lot for certain days. Tuesday, September 9th, right now they have scheduled, Thursday, September 11th, and then Friday, September 12th, and they're going to close the parking lot for the weekend and not reopen it till Monday morning. So again, this is a real concern for both the patrons of the COA and the beachgoers. You know, it's still in September, so.
So when the COA is closed, is there going to be alternate parking for folks who want to use the COA?
We will do our best to accommodate as many folks as we can.
Okay.
And Mr. Cannon, is that on the front page of the website where people can see it?
It will be. I'm not sure if it's there yet. Mr. Seedenoff was going to put that up.
Would it be possible for us to arrange alternate parking somewhere and perhaps have a school bus or something like that to get folks down to the COA?
Well,
if they
certainly we have
want?
the GATRA drivers, and maybe we can bring on extra GATRA drivers.
Well, I think
that's a great
the
idea.
GATRA drivers, though, are usually pretty much scheduled out with bringing people to
Sure.
medical appointments and things like that. That's why I suggested possibly a school bus or something, because I think that's not quite scheduled, but either one.
We'll do, yeah, we'll see what we can do, because, again, I think that's a great idea.
I would hate to close it for
Correct.
several days. People rely on it, so. Okay, Thank you.
Quick question on the road paving. Is there a list over the next 6 months what roads are going to be paved?
There are only the two, the Bow Road and I believe it's
Bow.
Bow. And what's the other one?
Bow Street.
Bow Street.
Bow Street, I'm sorry, Bow Street.
No.
In Bolton, is it?
Yeah, they're both the same
Yeah,
neighborhood.
they're right
Yeah.
close together.
Yeah,
So
those are the only
so
two.
nothing else for the next 12 months?
Correct. And then the last thing I have, Mr. Chairman, there is a tribute by a fallen firefighter, Daniel Salette, who died while in service to the town of Carver in 1975, and just want to remember him and his family as our prayers and thoughts go out to them. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Let's see, topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair, 48 hours in advance of the meeting, there are none. Approval of the minutes of August 19th. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of August 19th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. And finally, we have the approval of the executive session minutes of August 19th, 2025, not for release.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. Let's see, Select Board announcements. Ms. Hewens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As always, I want to remind people of the food pantry. Shane gives thanks. It's in the Carver Square parking area, Carver Square building. In the back of the building there, they always need donations, and Carver residents, particularly seniors, are always welcome as clients. The second thing is the special town meeting is scheduled for October 7th at 6:30 p.m. Carver Middle High School, that's at 60 South Meadow Road, in the auditorium there, for those who don't know. And we are going to be having, I think there is a bunch of information now up on the town's main page, so that you don't have to look all over for information on that, the articles, the discussion, the minutes, whatever's up there, it's all there, and you just click on it. If you don't have a way to click on it, perhaps the staff could print something off for someone who needs that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hoffman.
I just want to remind everybody that September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and our own South Shore Action for Hope is having a fundraiser on September 20th, a cornhole tournament. So there's plenty of information on Facebook, and they'll check their Facebook page, but it should be a fun time.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Carter.
I don't have any announcements.
All right. Mr. Ryan.
School's back in session, so welcome back all the students. I hope you have a great year. And also remind people, please be safe on the roads as you're going around the buses. Farmers Market is continuing. I got some good local honey last Sunday and fresh vegetables, so please continue to support that. And also the Airport Advisory Committee is still meeting on the 4th Thursday of the month. There is openings for one Carver member, so please submit that to the town manager of Plymouth. That would be Jade Anderton. So if you could get those applications in, then that will come back to the board. I think the close date for that is September 9th, and then we'll get the applicants back to the board, of which we'll need to make a recommendation for the Plymouth Select Board to appoint to the group.
I just have a question. Is there a way for the public to access this chairman of the board somehow?
Of the chairman of the committee?
Mhm.
Oh, of the
Airport Commission.
I would say to go to probably, I'm looking for, so Matt Cardillo is probably the best person at plymouth-ma.gov, for correspondence relative to the
Just plain
committee.
Matt Cardillo?
Yeah, Adam Bond is the chair, but I think he's the person at the airport to contact.
Okay. Thank you. And just for myself, let's see, the Union Church Society is sponsoring a fundraiser on the evening of September 27th, a night at sea. I believe they're going to have groups in to sing sea shanties. So it sounds like an interesting night. And as Ms. Hewen said, it's not too early to plan to attend special town meeting on October 7th. There's not as many articles as we normally have, but they're very important. So make sure you mark off October 7th. And with that, let's see, our next meeting is next Tuesday, September 9th. That's an additional meeting for town meeting articles. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Area 58. Have a wonderful night.